So I saw this piece on the Hoover Institute today about how millennials are the worst generation that's ever existed. Yeah, or whatever, it's their whole just laying the blame for the bad economy at the feet of essentially young adults that are still, trying to carve their way in the world that boomers already ruined and salted behind them. It's incredible to me that these people act in such, denial of how the boomers contributed nothing to this world. Almost literally nothing of positive value. Let's start... You want to go down this list of the things that have been allowed to happen on the boomers' watch. Stuff like 9/11, and how many bombs did Obama drop? 26,000? Something like that. In 1 year. They're incredibly violent, ignorant, selfish, power-hungry people. And they always judge their self-worth by their selfishness. Boomers are always like, I never did shit for anybody, and I never gave away no free lunch, and I never did shit for anyone, and I'm not doing shit for my kids. And it's when do you get to the part that you contributed anything of any kind of value to this world before you leave it? And the funny thing is that they're leaving it quicker than their parents did. For the first time, boomers are the first generation to die sooner than their parents. And it's from sheer lack of taking care of themselves. It's because they want to die of shit like diabetes and be 400 pounds and make us pay for it until they die on machines. That's a typical boomer. And going I'm not going to support you, I'm not going to do shit for you, and just stating it with pride, that pride of being a total soulless shit, and that's right, I'm human trash, and I'm leaving the world the way I came in, total garbage. It's incredible to me. And then they try to blame their kids for the economy that they ruined back in the 80s. They start calling themselves, I think it's Gavin McGinnis that brings this up, consultants. And he's every boomer is a fucking consultant, because they make up their own jobs, they make up their own pay, and they're I'm going to make $100,000 for doing jack shit my whole fucking life, and then I'm going to make other people pay my pension. And then they see their kids aren't going to have the same opportunity, they're not going to have the same, They always talk about the world as though it's the way it was in the 70s, because I guess that's when their brains just started to give out from all the coke. And it's when they talk about the world like it's still the way it was. They're well, I walked into a sawmill back in 1968 and they handed me a job right out of 8th grade, and I've been there until I was 75. And I'm do you really think that kind of job still exists, Old Man River? Really? Are you that out of touch? I guess so, because you people never leave your fucking couch. You just sit there watching Law & Order reruns every day with your fucking diabetes. And that's where we're at, is that you're totally out of touch with the world, but you still think you have the right to vote in it and determine how it runs. Why don't you kids just go out and get jobs, the ones that we never left, and the ones we're still in when we're 75? And yeah, those jobs, you dumb fucks? Really? We can't get them because you're still in them because you feel so entitled to them. With all your entitlement bullshit. I'm entitled to this job I don't do well for 50 years. And I'm going to join a union so they can't kick me out. Anyway, consider this screed just an open, I don't know, a free-form prologue to a series of videos I'm going to start called Boomers, the worst generation ever to have ever existed. Worse than the Mongol hordes, worse than anything from the Dark Ages, worse than anything that has ever existed on this planet. Worse than any pestilence that has ever befallen this earth. The boomers have committed more atrocities and have introduced more negative to the world that we're going to have to live in than anyone before them. And they have the unmitigated gall to be no, it's my kids' fault. Fuck my kids. I hate my kids so much. My kids can just go fuck themselves. They can pay for my health care until I'm dead, and then fuck them. That's every boomer. Fuck it. I don't care about anyone else. I just, I want to leave a bloated corpse, and then my kids can clean it up, and they can clean up everything else. And fuck them. That's every boomer. And stuff like what the Hoover Institute put out today needs to be addressed and answered. You'll notice a lot of gray hair in those videos. And just a lot of talk about pride and their selfishness. And how that's somehow going to make the world better and fix anything. How does sticking your head up your own ass and caring about your own fix the world in any way? What does that do to help anything? It's lazy, it's selfish, it's typical of the boomers. Fuck boomers.